The cadential 6/4 progression. Maybe you knew what this was once. Maybe you're in music theory classes now and can't remember or can't figure out this concept. But either way, this will all be clear in a second. This is Sonata she wrote, and a cadential 6/4 progression is a set of suspensions over a dominant pitch that resolve to a dominant chord. The sixth over the bass becomes the fifth, and the fourth over the bass becomes the third. What that means is, even though these three pitches make up the note of a tonic chord, this is not really a separate chord, but rather a single dominant chord with two suspensions over it. You'll often see it written in Roman numeral analysis as 5/6/4. The important thing is that even though to our modern ears this sounds perfectly consonant, to an 18th century ear, the initial 6/4 sound would have been as dissonant as a 4/3 suspension over a tonic note is to us. That's why it's such a commonly used device. It's dissonance to consonance. It's sort of the whole crazy thing that common practice classical music is based on. And why is that important? Because if you see this progression, you should play it as you would play a dissonance, as a suspension, with grit, with oomph, with pizzazz, with the wow factor. But how is it used? Composers of the common practice period often use this device as a rhetorical move to strengthen the sound of a cadence, meaning it will happen right before a structural cadence, as in this Mozart sonata. It also nearly always occurs before the final cadenza in the first movement of a concerto, having the effect of the orchestra opening up the possibility for a cadence, but the soloist supplying the agency needed to actually cadence in the cadenza. Late Romantic composers, like Tchaikovsky especially, might open this sonority to indicate to you what a struggle it is for the music to cadence, and, not resolving it, highlight the expressive struggle of a sonata form to complete itself, like in this example from Tchaikovsky's Fourth Symphony. Tragedy. The 5/6/4 chord, rather than resolving, hits first a 4 chord, and then as the strings try to regather themselves, fate intervenes. The motif that opens this symphony crushes our hope of an F major structural cadence. There are many things you learned in Music Theory 1 and 2 as a freshman that are often not as ironclad as they first appeared, but the rules around second inversions are generally applicable in common practice music. They are usually neighbor chords, which are also suspensions by the way, passing chords, or cadential chords. And in the case of cadential chords, if you can't find a resolution, ask yourself whether the composer, like Tchaikovsky, is doing this to highlight the seemingly titanic struggle of the music to complete itself. As always, these music theory concepts apply to European classical music of the 17th through 19th centuries. If you try to apply this concept to other genres of music, you'll just make all of us classical musicians look like assholes. So remember your place, and thanks for watching Sonata She Wrote.